First things first. Typically, when we do when you have an ankle sprain, what position did the ankle move? Show me. You got the, yeah, inwards. So we don't want to do a proper tape job. We want to make sure that we're positioning the foot in a position that is going to help prevent any future or additional sprains. So we always want it into neutral dorsiflexion. Because doing it here in tape, we got a lot more movement side to side versus relax. Here, not as much movement side to side. That was more calf versus ankle. So, first thing you're gonna do is apply your pre-wrap. I'm gonna show you two different ways. I'll show one and then I'm going to cut it off and show the other way. You can start here. You're gonna wanna start mid-calf. Why? Well, we'll explain that in a bit. We're gonna wanna start mid-calf. We're gonna kind of just come around, kind of overlapping, and then we get to our ankle, like actual joint. And you're gonna go directly over the heel, and then I like to come under, wrap around the heel, come under, wrap around the heel, voila. I said I was gonna do two ways. You can start here and then work your way up. So it doesn't matter where you start, you can start there. That is your pre-wrap. You don't want whole rolls in the pre-wrap. If I need an arm, if I sit there and I start going too tight, you start getting those wraps. Remember, as a toddler, I wasn't pulling, I was giving some tension, but I wasn't pulling too hard because as soon as you do that, it likes to roll on you. So, any questions over the pre-wrap? You're now going to, and I meant to say this earlier, I am going to teach you the textbook way to do it. If you were in HOSA, this is the way you learned how to tape an ankle. You've got to learn this way. Do I tape this way? Absolutely not. When you have letters behind your name, you can tape however you want, but until that point, we're going to learn the foundations. If you may come to me and say, hey, Grant Stovall taught me this way. That's great. Until you have letters on your right, you do it however the instructor of the class does it. It's fine. It's thing. So I'm going to start with my anchor strips. Notice that I went over halfway over the pre-wrap and onto the skin and taped out. Notice I also didn't go straight around. I went at an angle. Why? Well, because our bodies aren't completely circular. So I did 3 anchor strips. These are just to make sure that the pre-wrap stays down, and which is why I like starting here and then going up further, and also to provide a place to anchor the future strips. You have one anchor around the foot. You want to make sure that you are not too far up the foot. Why? Because if you go too tight, you now do squeeze the foot, and she's not going to be happy, and she's going to want you to cut it off. So, keep that up. I know that's like the hardest part for you. I kind of go low to about the base of the fifth, just wrap it all on. And when I say wrap it on, you saw very little tension. It was just enough to be like anchor strips, okay? From there, what is your next part of your form say? Should be stirrups. So we have, this is called the closed basket weave. Here is the basket weave part. We have first our stirrups. Remember, Daniel pointed out so well, we invert, most of our ankle sprains are inversion. Not all, just most. So we're going to do a stirrup. If you ride a horse, you put your foot in the stirrup to control it. We want to do the same thing. So we're going to start at the anchor. We are going to go straight up underneath, below the malleolus, hit the calcaneus, come back around to about under or on or below the malleolus, and go from there. This is the part. And then basket weave, you do different things. We're now going to do a C-strip. Our C-strip is going to basically go from one side of our foot stirrup anchor, first anchor, wrap around the back, and then come up to the other side. Basket weave, we do that and adjust and alternate. So we got 3. The biggest thing is we don't want the stirrups to come up on the arch. We want them to stay around the calcaneus. Why? Well, because when we ride a horse, if you're in stirrups, you drive with your heels, you don't drive with your toes. I'm gonna go here and slightly overlapping, but nothing too crazy. Here, and then on my next C-strip, I'm overlapping and I'm coming up again, being mindful. Ooh, I was like, don't move on me. Being mindful of the back of the leg and not just doing it, making sure there are no wrinkles back there. This back part is the area that you get most blisters. You don't want blisters. They don't come to you after that. And then a third time, maybe, I promise you I'm much faster at this when I'm not having to break down every strip. And then stirrup or C-strip up. And from that point, we're gonna continue C-strips all the way up to our anchors. Why? Well, because you can see I kind of adjusted just there to make sure that we get there, because it helps secure the stirrups there to provide the support so we don't invert or evert. After this, we do want to provide some arch support. While our stirrups go medial to lateral to prevent inversion, our arches go lateral to medial. Why? Because we want to lift the arch. We don't want to pull the arch down. So right here, I'm just going to come up right here, right above the stirrups, and I'm not going to cut it with my ring, and go 1, maybe 2. For her, 1, basically just to get up to that anchor, just to provide some arch support. Your next step is going to be, thank you, I gotta make sure I do it correct for you. Yep, is a heel lock. I will show you a way to not waste tape, but you can still practice heel locks a lot after this. But your heel locks are the funnest and yet most challenging aspect of this. Is that a fair statement? Anyone who's taught this before. So I'm going to show you some different ways. I like to hit the malleolus. Biggest thing is, actually, when you're driving a car and you're turning, do you wait till you get there to start turning, or do you kind of slowly glide into the turn? Glide into the turn. The same as here. If you sit there and say, okay, I hit this, and then at the calcaneus I go, and then I move down, you're going to end up with a wrinkle. Slightly like that. We want to avoid our wrinkles. So, gliding. As I said, this is the most challenging part in knowing how to get your angles. It's all about angles. This is where your geometry comes in. I hit just superior to the malleolus. I'm going to glide around, and notice that I'm kind of gliding it with my hand. This is the toddler aspect, to the top of the calcaneus. I am going to come down. Oh, I don't like how your ankle is. There we go. Come down. I'm going to wrap around, and then I'm going to end at the same spot I started. Let me show you on the other side. Why? Because you need 2 on each side. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to wrap around the calcaneus, come down and around here. Malleolus, calcaneus, down to the back of the ankle, up and back where I started, and let me not do the opposite. That's my hand. Those are the heel locks. It is the hardest. After this video, I'll show you that later, an easy way to practice that. And then we want our figure 8. Figure 8 goes in a circle all the way around. Basically, that's what we could do with our ankle. If I have a circle here and a circle here, we could literally just go around and around as much as possible. So, same thing. I like to start above the malleolus, but for this time, we're going to kind of go a little bit higher to wrap around. And I like to form my first circle with an X on the dorsal. Or not dorsal. No, dorsal. Cool. Right above the tailor. And then wrap around the back of the leg. Notice that I didn't maybe end up exactly where I wanted to be. I ended up a little bit higher. Why? Well, that's because that's where the tape wanted to go, and her ankle is shaped. Is this the prettiest? No, I'm going to blame the tape. And then you close up. I do not want you to close up because I'm going to literally to check you off. You have to do this, and I'm literally going to take it apart piece by piece to make sure that you did it correctly, and that just saves us about a quarter of a roll in closing up. But just tell me when to close up, okay? Any questions?